EGL Dota, where I've got a real treat for you guys. I've got D&D on the panel yet again, reunited, and it feels so good.
Yeah, thank you. Production was very happy with our panel yesterday, and they said they want to have it today.
Oh, the
Black Dragon.
Yeah, that's right. Black Dragon, like 555 or something.
553.
553. What was
What's
the
the
significance
meaning?
of 553?
I mean, that's the age I created the account. 55313.
Oh, 5+5+3. Oh, okay, I see.
I was 5 head back then already.
Dude, Lacoste got the math award. How did I figure out that faster than you, Lacoste?
This is too deep. You know, this is too complex for me.
Did you ever follow like a pro player's name? You know, when Burning's name was AAA, I would just be like AAA Black AAA. When I was like 13 or 14, I was like, ooh, I'm Burning now.
You gotta imitate your idols. And then a few years later, he's taken Clink's tips from you.
Yep.
Humble origins. But in terms of teams being pushed out of their comfort zone, Smart Omega's also doing that. They were picking some Broodmother yesterday, and maybe taking a page out of China's book. We're trying to figure out if Broodmother is viable, if supposed to be a strong offlaner.
Like SimH played it really well. The other team had a very good read what he's going to do. Broodmother hits that level 6. They kind of stopped him, but it was only one time. Because he was pushing, taking control of enemy jungle. The tier 1 tower falls once you hit level 6. And if they don't have a good heroes in the safe lane, they're going to get punished. They also took a tier 2 tower relatively fast, took over the outpost. Like, you can't play the map. Like, you're pretty limited where you can play Dota. You can try to invade the jungle, kill the Broodmother. I don't think it's really worth it just to get a kill on the Broodmother, because you need to spend a lot of resources. You need to bring at least 3 heroes, especially like maybe expand one of the big ultimates, and then you need to play like in a triangle. Like, that's your area where you can play. My question is, for like the games where we see Broodmother, why is Broodmother not trying to invade the triangle block? Have you figured that out yet? Because I did not.
They're all just very comfortable in their like offlane. I'm just gonna sit here, or tier 2 towers down. I'm still gonna sit here. I'm not sure, because when we saw these mid roots, that's what they would do.
Yeah.
They just go to the triangle, take that early farm away from like Drow Rangers and all that stuff. They can't do anything to you. But they're getting a little bit too comfortable in that offlane.
But mathematically speaking, there are more camps in the primary jungle. Why is the triangle of such high value to you? Just because they're ancients?
Ancients, stacking the ancients, and this is where like multiple sentry wards will be placed just to secure it. So like you get less farm. If you have stacked ancients, you're still gonna get more farm from that. So that's why I'm wondering like why we have not seen that yet.
It's also a much closer like proximity. There's a camp, whereas in the other jungle you're gonna go here, and then there, and there.
I will say that the one thing that was interesting is that Sam H's was the first Radiant Broodmother that we saw. And so the advantage of him staying in the primary jungle is he gets a lot of Roche control out of that, and staying in Dire's jungle, taking control of that area. Whereas for Dire offlane, I'm with you. I feel like taking the triangle would be higher value, because then you get even more Roche control and you lock out the Radiant triangle.
Very unexplored hero still.
Yeah.
Like even when 3-3 played him, like he is like a specialist of that hero, right? He also didn't look like super comfortable on this new Brood, because it's still a different hero. There's still a lot of figuring out to do what the best playstyle is. And we'll see maybe a month down the line or so, if it doesn't get nerfed.
Maybe. But we need to nerf Medusa first, don't we?
Yep.
Kinda. The hero just feels super strong. How would I nerf it?
Yeah.
Black proposed many different varieties of nerfs.
The cast yesterday, you know, you need to get like mana is 50, 100 plus percentage, right?
Plus max mana.
Yeah, like 100 plus.
Casting Mystic Snake should cost a percentage of her max mana, is what you said.
Yeah, so you just can't just cast it so easily without any effort. Because 170 mana when you have 3k mana pool is not that much, and you get like 2,000 mana back.
I was never that good. Like, I had some ideas, but for certain heroes I was just not good at theory crafting how to nerf them. But I like the approach that Ice Frog has been doing lately. He's not just, you know, before we had these heroes that just get completely dumpstered after, you know, he's been strong, but right now he also gives them something back.
Yeah.
Like, we're taking this away, but we're also giving you back just so that you're still a viable hero. As for Medusa, still a bit too strong. I think he gave her too much with this Aghanim Scepter Snake bounces.
But
before,
did you say give and take, right?
Yeah.
I feel like all of her spells are just so good. If you buff any of them for nerfing the other, it would be too much for that spell again.
Because she got mana on the mana shield,
Yep.
and this Aghanim Scepter 1.5 plus 0.2 per bounce. Before it was 0.2 plus...
just 1 second, right?
It was maybe 1 or 0.2 plus 0.3 per bounce?
I think it was 1 plus 0.3 per bounce.
Yeah, so like the initial Stone Gaze is not as strong. She just feels like super good to have. There aren't many counters to her. Like mana burn heroes, we have couple only, and we've seen even yesterday pairing her up with Nyx Assassin.
5 seconds.
Seems like
Five
very
team
special.
remaining.
You talked about the hero pairings in general. Medusa with what was it?
Radiant
Legion
team
Commander.
ban.
Medusa Legion, Medusa Tiny I like because they're
Flexible,
They
yeah.
can just interchange what they want to do. But just in general, like
Dire
even
team
counters
ban.
like Anti-Mage, Phantom Lancer. When you activate Stone Gaze, you're the boss
Radiant
of the game.
team
Like they
ban.
run at you, even your counters, they will die or take a ton of damage, and they can't fight you.
Dire team
Like
pick.
they
But the hero pairing her up with a super bad
for
for
nursing.
hero backs. Lately, he's not just, you know, Aghanim Scepter Snake bounces.
What did you
Before,
say? You've been take, right?
yeah,
I feel like all of her spells are just so good. If you buff any of them for nerf,
10
nerfing
seconds
the
remaining.
other would be too much for that spell again.
because she got mana on the mana
5
shield.
seconds remaining.
This Aghanim Scepter 1.5 plus 0.2 per bounce. Before it was 0.2
I thought it
plus.
just 1 second, right?
It was maybe 1 or 0.2 plus 0.3 per
I
bounce.
think it was 1 plus 0.3 per bounce.
Yeah, so like the initial Stone Gaze is not as strong. She just feels like super good to have. There aren't many counters to her. Like mana burn heroes, we have a couple only, and we've seen even yesterday pairing her up with Nyx Assassin seems like just a very good idea. You talked
Radiant
about the hero
team
pairings
pick.
in general. Medusa with what was it?
Enchantress.
Legion
Legion
Commander?
Commander.
Medusa Legion, Medusa Tiny I like because they're
Flexible,
They
yeah.
can just interchange what they want to do. But just in general, like even counters like Anti-Mage, Phantom Lancer. When you activate Stone
10
Gaze, you're
seconds
the boss of the
remaining.
game.
Yep.
Like they run at you, even your counters, they will die or take a ton of damage. and
5
they can't fight you
seconds
during the
remaining.
duration. So even your counters, you can itemize to counter them. So I just feel like Medusa right now doesn't really have any apparent weakness. Laning is good, can defend towers easily, you can push towers quite easily.
I have a mechanics question.
Yeah.
If you win range with
Radiant
Focus
team
Fire and
pick.
Medusa, but you're clicking away from
Mirana.
her, are you counting as facing her, or are you counting... Because like,
counting-
technically she's looking and shooting,
If you look at her, like whenever your model is turned towards her,
Okay.
you're gonna get stoned.
so even like mid-Focus Fire, even though
Yeah.
you're clicking away, you're still looking at her technically?
Yep.
Okay.
She's too
10
beautiful.
seconds
Too
remaining.
beautiful.
That's why you can't take the eyes off her. Funny story. So
5
yes,
seconds
I just have
remaining.
to tell. Yesterday
Alright,
I'm
alright.
playing a pub game, you know, and there's a tech
Dire
team,
team
Oh, God.
pick.
and everyone just starts complaining in my team.
Of course.
Rightfully
And
so.
someone suggests an idea. Let's do a gentleman's agreement. Like, let's roll. So we roll.
Who abandoned?
Who abandons? Exactly. And there's this one guy that was like AFK after he picked his
10
hero.
seconds
So four of
remaining.
us roll. I'm the lowest one until this guy shows up and he's like, "Yo, guys,
5
what's happening?"
seconds
And we're
remaining.
like, you know, we made an agreement. Who rolls the lowest
Dire
needs to
team
abandon.
ban.
And then he rolls. He's the lowest one, and he says, well, "I'll tank for one for the team. Good night, gentlemen. I'm
Wow.
done with Dota today." And he just abandons. Like, I've
Wow.
never seen this happen before.
Radiant team
What a-
But
ban.
you gotta do it.
Like it was not like I thought they were stacked, considering how everyone agreed.
Yeah,
You know,
so mannered, so organized.
Was it, like,
Exactly.
right
We were
away?
like- it was right away. Like
everyone's
he's
like, okay, yeah, let's go.
that's
Wow.
it. Like, and he just clicked the chat, check what happened, and
What
okay.
time was it?
Dire
was
team
it?
ban.
It was around like 6, 7.
Well, it's actually pretty early, yeah.
Yeah, and he said good night. Like, yeah, I guess he's just done with
He's
Dota
done
for
with
today.
Dota.
He's done
This
with
is the
Dota because
the dude came home from work. It was a weekday. He was
will-
like, I don't want to deal with this.
He'll probably, you know, have. How much do you need to wait if you abandon?
10
I didn't
seconds
abandon in a really
remaining.
long
30
time.
minutes, I think.
30 minutes? Okay.
I think it escalates depending on the more abundance you have, though.
5 seconds
So 30
remaining.
minutes is the
I
lowest
haven't
one?
abandoned.
I have not abandoned
I
in
just
a
know,
really
like,
long
when you
time.
don't accept the game, you can't
It's
play
5
for 5
minutes.
and then
Yeah.
15.
Oh, maybe that's what I'm thinking of. That escalates.
Yeah, but I don't know about abandons.
Whatever the case, Techie's clearly bringing communities together.
It should not be pickable in unranked.
I was so, exactly. I was so like pleasantly surprised with what happened. You know, I played Dota for such
Radiant
a long time,
team
and it never
ban.
occurred. So yeah, let's focus on the draft now. Marana Sanking, OB Neon, classic opener. We're gonna run at you. This is most likely gonna be mid Sanking, which I'm not a big fan of. On the other side, Broodmother Sanking that deals well with the Broodmother. Like has this stun, has caustic
10
spell,
dire
Sandstorm.
team ban.
How would you like it if
You put
they
the
put the
Sanking
sanking in?
again, mid Sanking, because Broodmother does not have spiders until level 6.
Yeah. But the lane should be pretty difficult for Brood. Still. Because like you have this like 50 seconds cooldown on the first spell, I think, or 45.
Yeah, and I would think that
10
Sanking could just like
seconds
burrow
remaining.
strike as soon as Insatiable Hunger comes up. That burns off a few seconds of the buff. caustic
5
poker a little
seconds
bit.
remaining.
Like for me, the answer to dealing with Brute is a hero that can not only clear the spiders, but can stand there consistently.
Yeah.
Like you want to be able to push out the lane, not push into the tower. I'm going to push it out.
Yeah.
You're never going to get away that way. Like you're going to be able to push it to her tower and get some attention yourself. Which I think
You push it to her
good.
tower, she goes around,
Cut the
keeps,
speedway.
yeah.
That's true. It's a good point.
Tidehunter. Tidehunter is pretty much always banned.
Radiant
from what I've seen
team
from other
banned.
regions when there's a Broodmother.
What about
Like,
Axe?
Axe is fine. Axe is also good. You want to have a hero that like doesn't die, that you can't threaten with the spider lanes. So I think
Radiant
these
team
heroes are
pick.
very
Or
good.
Magnus. Makes a lot of
Magnus
sense
is
too.
also
Dire
good.
team
so,
pick.
not sure where this Magnus is gonna go. They could swap things around. I really like a mid Magnus. I think he's a viable hero that scales with the item. Echo Saber's still popular.
I hate offlane Magnus.
Yeah,
10
I'm not a big
seconds
fan.
Like
remaining.
the hero just scales so well with items because sure you can empower your
5
carry, but
seconds
you're still
remaining.
getting way more benefits from it. So
No,
if you're offlane Magnus.
I'm expecting mid because didn't Can't Touch Me play Mirana offlane in one of
He
his
did.
games?
He did. In
But
one
I
of
would
them.
much rather see Sanking offlane than Mirana for. His Mirana performance that game was.
Radiant team pick.
I think he played really well. He just can't do anything.
Yeah, the hero just is not built to deal damage quite yet.
I guess we're going Neon, but Rubik always loses.
Rubik is kind of always on the loser
Dire
side.
team pick.
This
It
hero.
did win with
Phantom
that 5 position
Assassin.
tiny that we saw yesterday, though.
That's true.
I don't know
Yeah,
if that
because it was
counts.
5 tiny.
It was
Tiny
5.
5 is a bit OP.
It's pretty broken.
So what are we looking at? Like these 3 heroes just feel like they don't do anything to me.
10
Max
seconds remaining.
This looks like,
Like
a really
Enchantress,
super
Broodmother,
good.
Rubik. These
5
heroes like
seconds
are very
remaining.
good at running away. Like they're not even speedy. Enchantress is, but their heroes are good at dying. Like these heroes are very easily killed. What
That's
I'm
true.
trying
Yeah,
to
I feel
say.
like they have inferior teamfight, inferior speed pushing,
Yep.
inferior laning even. Like
Enchantress is a strong laner. Rubik is really not. Broodmother is, depends what she's playing into. But if I'm playing a game and I see these 3 heroes,
You're abandoning
I'm like,
it.
no, I'm not
Gentleman
abandoning. no, I'm,
Gentleman's agreement.
if I'm Radiant, if I'm OB Neon, I'm like, guys, this is gonna be an easy one for us.
it's
Like,
play standard, relax. I mean, I don't know. Like this Eng, it's going to be a 5 most likely.
Yeah.
The Rubik pickup, and you don't want to play into Mirana. Whether it's 4 or 3, doesn't matter. So that lane should be pretty hard for Omega. We have to see what the support is. Like PA is probably not that good against Brute, but once she has items, it should be pretty easy for her as well.
Also, there's very limited
Dire team
lockdown. Even like Rubik is basically all the stuns, and he has to steal stuns, which there are many good spells to steal. Burrow Strike, even Empower will be pretty nice to steal. But Smart Omega's support duo seems kind of underwhelming.
And PA just wrecks these 2 supports too hard. Like 1 crit, Eng is dead, 1 crit, Rubik is dead.
10
They just
seconds
have no
remaining.
hero to threaten, and they have 4 seconds left on their bonus time. I'm pretty sure they're
5
not very
seconds.
happy with
Radiant
their draft
team
either.
banned.
Yep.
Otherwise, they wouldn't be taking so much time.
Dire team
Ban
back.
out Grimstruck would have been a good support to deal with
For
the
sure.
Broodmother.
and a good laning partner with the Phantom Assassin, hero that scales well, great setup for Sand King, great setup for Magnus later on. They ban Faceless Void. I don't think they would pick Faceless Void, to be honest. They have
be
literally
atrocious.
0 damage
10
inside of
seconds
Chrono.
remaining.
Like no one, it's even worse than the one we had with
5
Fever
seconds
plus
remaining.
Faceless Void, where
That's
Weaver
right.
can deal damage inside of Chrono if it's not placed correctly, especially with the low
Radiant
fast down that
team
we've also
banned.
seen in that game.
Dire team
Very,
pick.
like something like a Spectre needs to happen here. So, answer all kind of hero. What else is there?
Something that's a
tough
good
last pick.
carry-to-carry matchup against PA, Troll,
Banned out.
10 seconds remaining.
There's still Tarot Blade, but it's pretty risky against Sanky Mirana lane.
5 seconds remaining.
No man, clock's ticking. They do not
4
have much
seconds.
reserve time.
4, 3.
Radiant team
Look at
pick.
Nice steal. Against PA is actually bad. That's really bad.
and that's why I took the time to just reevaluate everything I know. He can build into MKB, okay, but it takes a lot of time.
And they have RP that goes through Rage already.
10 seconds remaining.
They have a lot of ways to kite this Lifestealer.
And Lifestealer hates heavy
5
physical
seconds
damage.
remaining.
Magnus and PA both have so much of it. I mean, probably Neon, being Neon, is just going to put Magnus 5 now and ruin everything. But
What about some good old position 5 Wyvern here? You have another way of setting
like
things
that.
up, but they will do something good.
Now
So it's a mag
select your
5.
heroes.
Mag.
5 mag.
Why did they have to do this? Like, the
Because
lineup
they're
looks so good.
Neon.
Like, Magnus lines really well into the Void Spirit.
Yeah.
Free farm completely. Just pick a good 5.
They wanted to have something against the
Well, it's a
Lifestealer.
bit sanking now.
Yeah.
Yeah. What were you thinking was going to be mid?
I actually thought, I mean, Slaughter middle would make a lot of sense to me too against the Void Spirit.
It's okay, but it's going to be
I guess.
the offlane one against the Lifestealer.
How is
Nah,
that matchup now, actually, after all the lifestealer buffs?
He can't trade. Like,
still can't trade?
Nah, you can't. It's too much damage coming up from Bash.
Lizard,
Now you have. Okay.
I want to know. I want to know if Lizard may have a different outlook on this mid sanking. Are we still very, very bitter on mid sanking, or what? Yeah, just him. Just him.
I'm sorry. You can.
You can tell me about this 5 mag afterwards, but first I want to hear about mid sanking.
Look, I agree with Black and what he's saying, or I don't know if he said it on this panel, but before, back historically, if he buys that BKB early on, if he itemizes to survive, then it's alright, it can work. He's also laning into a melee Void Spirit, so why the hell not? I like the Slardar versus Lifestealer as well. Even with the changes, you still dominate that lane. Magnus 5 though?
No. B-Cup answers that question. Let's not get too big for our britches here, Lizard. Mag 5, what's your opinion of this hero?
Mag 5, I like to see it again. PA's got the personal empower.
It's true.
You just come with me, Magnus. Here you go. Empower me, thanks.
You
I'm
can do
beautiful.
it.
I can do
You'll
it.
cast well.
Okay.
And I think we need to
So
say
empowered.
Yo, you're
Feeling
my
so
personal Magnus.
empowered.
All right. See, like it works all the time. Now I feel empowered. I'm ready to go.
Are we 5 neons? It's feeling like 5 neons.
I'm Neon. Yeah, it's too much.
Prepare
PA,
for
PA
battle.
mag plus Slardar, too much damage.
Or it's too little from Smart Omega. What is that draft?
But we will have to find out in the cast for game number 1 with B-Cup and Lizard.
Nice. Game number 1. I feel good to cast. They didn't predict, so they're already out of the running.
No, they did. They said 5 neons.
Oh, okay.
So they predicted for all of us pretty much.
Yeah.
Which,
That's fair.
yeah, it's fair. I can agree with them. I do like what the Broodmother on the offlane brings, but is it enough? Does the Broodmother offlane really win the game versus Slardar Magnus PA? That looks very scary.
Yeah, it really does. Because I worry about the mid sanking sometimes. I'm like, oh, there's a lot more here. It feels great to have this mid sanking with possible follow up RP and other things to really bring their way. Like I don't know. I'm excited to see it. I just don't know if the Brood's going to be enough. We'll see. We've seen Broods do better things.
You can, historically you could even put Sand King versus Brood. Like that's also an option.
Yeah.
Probably will not happen here. We'll see the Sand King going mid, rolling down, chilling, having that caustic finale, pushing in the lane, taking the water runes. That's what he likes to do, get a lot of farm. But when things go badly or poorly, you can always put the Sand King versus Brood, use the same caustic finale versus the Broodlings, have a good life, maybe have a 5-man smoke, because this is Filipino on Filipino. It's the Rambulan that we're having, and Yopaj on Sand King, he's our idol, man, and he's doing it.
Yeah, I've doubted him in the past, saying that, I can't see him winning as the Sand King, but
What do you mean? You
know.
can't see him now. Okay.
now I can see it. Last time, because I doubted him last time, and then he won.
Oh wait, our Broodmother has a very peculiar web here around the mid lane.
30 seconds.
But I still believe Max should be playing mid, right? Sam H will just rotate on the offlane, yeah, that's how it looks like. He also itemized for a stick on the Broodmother, so that means he wants to lane versus the PA.
Right.
Makes a ton of sense. Very smart from Smart Omega.
Ooh.
What, you didn't hear that one before?
Very smart.
What was that? Ooh.
I don't know. I like the word smart.
Wait, so how many, it's more like Omega lol, less Omega, or very smart from Smart Omega have Black and Lacoste made so far? Not too many.
Not too many.
Yeah. Okay.
I was thinking about it in my head the other day when they were playing really well. Omega, they are the smart Omega.
Yeah. So we have the Enchantress coming on the offlane actually together with the Brood. So once again we'll see CML. He plays 5 usually, but he can start on the offlane. And what's going to be nice here is he'll be able to enchant off the Empower as well. So that's pretty solid.
Restarting their net. Alright, 3 heroes disconnecting. Maybe not the quickest of pauses. I always say quick pause, and then I got told, how do you know it's quick?
One thing that I hate in this life is when I start the game and people DC instantly. I know it's not the case here, but usually it's like there's one guy in every single pub. He joins the game, and then DCs the same minute. And then you have to wait for him for another 2-3 minutes. Why did you queue?
Yeah.
Just do your stuff before you queue, dude.
Got to take out the trash. It's like, then why did you queue? Just take out the trash, then queue.
Exactly. Or time your stuff. I've become one with the queue. I know exactly how much time approximately I need.
Yeah.
And I do all my stuff. And then when I come back, the accept button is there.
Right on time. I had it the other day where I was trying to give someone the benefit of the doubt. They disconnected, and they said they had to restart, and the other team was unpausing. And, they unpaused like 3 or 4 times. We tried to keep it paused. Then, obviously, we ran out of pauses, which is annoying. Mm-hmm. Guy on the other team said, I don't have enough time for a pause. Well, if you don't have enough time for a pause, I don't know if you should be queuing for a game in the first place. But then, a guy on their team, 30 minutes into the game, they DC'd.
DCs.
That's one of the better feelings when you're like spamming F9 and you're just trying to unpause the didn't pause for my team.
What goes around comes around.
Yeah. And then, it always feels good to just get that unpause going, and then we get to push. But I usually, my go-to comment is, what are you, scared of my insert rank here, Mars, beating you guys?
So you're trying to play the ego game a little bit. I see.
You guys should be able to win 5v5. You think you're so good, I think you guys are good. You could do it.
Are you the kind of a player or not when you're playing 4v5 that you stay until the bitter end? Because I am. Like, I always stay. I'm going to be that annoying little brat that defends until you take the throne, even if he's playing 1v5. Dude, I had so many Dota 1 days when I would actually win the game 1 versus 5 because I would be able to micro all 5 heroes and win.
I can't do that, but I just wait and people just go, all right, this, we're not winning anything from this. Might as well just go.
Yeah, that's also true.
Then they leave. But it's always nice to just wait them out.
Yeah. Sometimes you can win even 4v5.
Problem is, I'm always playing a support, so it's like I'm not the guy.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Doing the heavy lifting there.
Yeah, that's a problem. And for Neon, I don't think. Oh, there we go. 2 of them reconnecting.
Okay, and then a disconnect from the Void Spirit.
And then Void Spirit.
Smart Omega.
Yeah.
He's out.
This is. I understand them. They're playing versus a Brood. You want to DC a little bit. You don't really want to play against the Brood, so they will come back though. And now Void Spirit is the one, man. I have a Brood in my team. I'm gonna be playing 4v5 the whole game while he farms the jungle. Doesn't feel great. But on real talk now, Brood has been very successful on the Radiant side because you can play around Rosh Pit way easier. I'm looking forward to seeing how Omega, who did win with Brood before, do on offlane Brood on the Dire side.
No, I'm trying to wonder here how many times have we seen Dire Brood in the offlane compared to Radiant Brood in the offlane? I feel like we've seen it Dire, right?
Exactly. I've only seen the Brood on Radiant once, pretty much on the offlane, and it won. It dominated. All the other games were. Is he gonna get skewered? No, he's fine.
He was thinking about it. He gave that he ducked the head a little bit, feinted the skewer.
Yeah. It's not the easiest thing to skewer the Brood, right? Because it's pretty easy for him to be mobile around the webs and just dodge that out. Plus, there's Enchantress there with the slow, so things should be pretty simple for them.
It's crazy how much Enchantress does. I feel like this is a hero that outputs so much from a 5 position. I might go from an AA spammer to an Enchantress spammer because I watch just the impetus shots. You can make the heroes opposing you very uncomfortable in lane.
I would actually suggest you to learn Ench because it's going to make you a better player overall, as you'll have you know, you'll have a creep too that you have to control too. So overall, it just makes you a better player. So when you return to that A, you might even be bored a bit.
God, yeah, well, I think the first few games with Enchantress might be me just pressing Enchant on the enemy heroes.
People that want to improve just don't push themselves hard enough.
Get out of their comfort zone.
Yeah, you need to get out of your comfort zone, do something that's much, much harder, and then return to your normal heroes, and it will all look much easier.
Yeah, there was a time where I was just pressing the random button. That was all I would do. I'd play as a 5-stack, and we'd all press random. Which, I mean, I guess we could just play all random. But
yeah, why did you do that? You
I think the fun of pressing the button was the fun of pressing the button was a little bit more exciting.
Don't lie. You wanted the extra gold and the fairy fires later on. That was the case. But back to this game, Brood so far is doing pretty well. 13 last hits. Mid lane, Void Spirit isn't suffering at all against the Sand King. Pretty much the same, but you expect Sand King to be maybe pressuring a little bit harder. Top lane Tino is actually dropping a bit low, but it's a life stealer with Bracer, so he moves back, he gets salved up by Shanks.
Yeah, they're still dealing with a couple tangos in this lane, so their regen isn't completely depleted just yet. We haven't seen much of this Slardar, but John Well gets the kill on a CML. Finally gets that Enchantress, doesn't take the Empower just yet, just working with that Skewer and the Shockwave.
He actually had 7 stick charges on Magic Stick that were left unused on Ench.
Is there a time where you just think, maybe if I hold the stick charges for a different fight, like I'm dead here regardless?
Yeah, not for First Blood, not in these early stages of the game. In these early stages of the game, you almost definitely need to use it.
Right.
But it happens. Enchantress is extremely squishy early on. So that's the problem.
Yeah, once you get that untouchable is really where Enchantress starts to shine, I think. We've been seeing a lot of Enchantresses go heavy into like the enchant, 1 point into the Nature's Attendants, going 1 point into the untouchable, obviously at 6. And that's a point where if you are this Enchantress, you start to feel deceivingly tanky.
Yeah. You get a couple of items, untouchable, level 6 like you said, and it all gets better and better, but the problem is the main point of Enchantress is dominating the lane.
Yeah.
That's where you really want to shine.
So you can get that quick medallion, maybe even that quicker Solar Crest if you do well.
Heroes that have built-in mobility like Magnus and PA are a little bit harder to deal with. As you can see right here, they go on her.
Yeah, CML getting chased. Some webs down Sam H with the Insatiable Hunger, but Skewer back now under the tower for a couple shots. It doesn't hurt too bad. And when you've got the Insatiable Hunger, you're life stealing pretty well already, so that's fine.
It's the hunger, plus Silk and Bola, which pretty much makes Natsumi not be able to hit the Enchantress. So it's like a couple of things that make life very, very difficult for Natsumi.
I wonder if this game screams Shard for Sam H. That 80% miss chance.
It's pretty solid versus the PA. She misses you, you miss her. It's the perfect
Everybody's
relationship.
swinging, nobody's hitting. I honestly wouldn't not want to see that. I'd love to see it.
Baby, I miss you too, you know, that kind of thing.
And somebody hits and the song changes.
So far, Slardar is actually doing all right as well.
Good skewer again onto Sam H. It's still a very hard kill to get.
I don't think you have a kill opportunity here anymore. Not until PA is 6. So
yeah, unless Insatiable Hunger is on cooldown, I don't think you're getting that kill.
He has 20 magical charges, Fairy Fire.
Yeah, he's fine.
Like, he's
More
not
than
dying.
fine.
Too much regen from the web as well, so just gonna chill there.
This Void Spirit of Mac has done a lot better in the lane than I thought he would. You usually see Yopaj kind of dominate the lane, especially against melee hero on the Sand King.
Yeah, he's actually farming the stacks right now, but Rubik is smart enough to stick around, get a couple of experience points stolen from the Sand King. Now they secure the top rune for him as well, so Yopaj is doing all right, but maybe we expected him to be pressuring Mac a bit harder.
Yeah. Joel in trouble. Max made the rotation. Doesn't hit the Aether Remnant, but the impetus shot with the Shockwave coming through from that Satyr, and they don't chase.
They don't chase?
They didn't have anything left from Mac except to dissimulate.
Very interesting. Bottom lane, Natsumi. He's actually
getting chased by Sam H. trying to survive. They finally bring over Yopaj. This might get them a kill. Sam H with all these spiderlings doing a lot of damage to Natsumi, who just jukes away, gets a stifling dagger out onto Sam H. Yopaj lands the Burrow Strike, and he finally gets the kill on the Broodmother. That was a great play from Natsumi.
Man, Natsumi, it was a little bit of a great play, definitely, but also a little bit of luck. They're surviving with just a sliver of HP, and that's the best feeling.
They want CTM. Shanks coming around. But he goes
the
north.
juke.
All right, he's got an astral step. I thought for a second he might have juked him out completely. Aether Remnant, Dissimulate, that's all lined up. Telekinesis. And there's the kill.
I actually love how Mac was standing there. He wasn't moving. Like, usually you see players just move towards where they think he is, but he just stood there in the crossroads, waiting to see which way he's going to go, because he knew, okay, I have two teammates here. There is no necessity for me to just run and continue chasing.
Yeah, I don't need to lose out on finding this kill.
Pretty well played by them. Did rotate a couple of heroes top for that kill, but it's definitely worth it. Joe Pod.
Looking for the epicenter. Burrow Strike coming through. Arrow thrown. That lands from Play Hard, and this is crucial. You got 2 kills on a Broodmother very early. A hero that really wants to get the ball rolling quickly, and yeah, you can recover his Brood, but the more and more you get these early kills,
you don't want to be in the recovery mode.
Yeah,
that's the thing. Like, if you're a Broodmother, you actually want to be doing Brood things, and that's pressuring constantly. But this Blink Dagger on Yopaj definitely makes that a bit more difficult to do. Oh, nice.
Burrow Strike away?
Yeah, nice Burrow Strike. Last millisecond, pretty much.
So we haven't gotten a Sand King game together, and I've been wanting to ask you this question because I've asked it to Black and Lacoste. What are your thoughts on the build that we see these mid Sand Kings go for? Blink, Bootsy, Travel.
Well, I play a lot of Sand King, and it happens to me that I'm playing offlane or mid, and I buy this Blink, and then I get a couple of good rotations, and I get baited into that Travels so easily.
Right.
Because your point of view is, I'm very mobile, I'll be able to farm the side lane and join every single fight that I want to. I want to be at every single fight, but I also want to be able to split push. There were many examples of mid laners going for Travels in the past as well. There are problems to it though, because if you aren't executing properly in a way that you're using your Blink plus Epi every time it's off cooldown and you get a kill, you can just die in the Sandstorm while you're chilling around the fight. You don't have any save, you don't have Yules, you don't have Lotus, you haven't itemized defensively into a 4-staff, even nothing like that. Black has a pretty good idea with the BKB, I like it a lot. But what I like even more is just tankiness. Utility items that make you naturally tankier.
And I think as CML dives to CTM, I think you kind of have that from the offlane where you can go utility if you're this mid Sand King in this game. Yep. You can be that guy who gets utility because I don't think Slardar wants to go utility.
Actually, Slardar is going utility. At least it looks like that for now. He's buying 2 bracers into a hood. So because of that, you can do the exact opposite by the Sand King. So it will work out.
So this time Sand King doesn't have to go utility. Yeah. He can, but you have options, right?
You have options, exactly. Some Crimson Guard is an item that I would definitely consider on a Sand King in a game such as this one. It's actually pretty fine versus the Brood, versus everything. Even though Brood deals most damage with Silk and Bola and the magic attacks, but it's still solid. And they smoke up once again.
CML might be the one who breaks this smoke.
Yeah, that's...
They've got vision of him, so they can avoid him.
He was actually doing the right thing, moving down south, but opted not to. Because of that, Sam H might die.
Yeah, this is actually unfortunate, but Sam H gets away, the Spiderlings don't.
That's some...
It's a good amount of gold.
That's some good amount of gold.
Good gold injection.
For play hard, yeah. Yopaj got a little bit, but Mirana too. And the main point is you're slowing down the Brood.
Yeah.
Every time you kill the spiders, you really slow her down quite a bit. But Sam H is also satisfied because he did not die.
So, going back to just the discussion with like the Slardar and the Sand King, is that what we're not seeing from these lineups? Is just like the options to have these heroes do certain things? Mid, Phantom Assassin getting blown up by that Fable. They go to the epicenter. It's doing a lot of damage. They finally take out CML. They look over at Mac. They'll get 2. Shanks now in the Sandstorm. But I don't know if they quite care.
They don't
might
have
look
detection.
for him.
They don't have detection. But
he walks out. he walks out right next to them,
Yeah,
and that gives Yopaj the double.
Yeah, they just put the sentry down. So Januel just went close enough, put the sentry down. Because of that, you have to get out.
Right under the tower.
Yeah,
The sentry.
He doesn't care. He knows that Rubik is dead the moment you put the sentry. Interesting play, by the way. They baited on Natsumi, and I think that he thought that they'll be able to react a little bit faster and save him. Because you don't really want to be feeding your PA for any kills. But it still works out fine. And they did make a lot of stacks for him. The power is there, so he's living life.
So I'm just looking at what we've seen Sand King with. Neon played it with the off-lane Mirana. He's might just die here. Trying to run Moonlight Shadow, but they've got the vision with the dust. They'll take out this Magnus. It's Tino finally getting on the board.
I don't think I've ever seen someone take the Augur Bruiser. The Enchantress has that enchanted.
Bash and the arrow. There's no chance to get out. They have such good setup for the arrow in this game.
They just have such cookie-cutter lineup when it comes to stuns and setups. It's just so easy to execute, and it looks like something you'd recommend to your noob friends if they played Captain's Mode. Just pick Mirana, Slardar, Sand King. Like, you can't miss all of the stuns.
Lockdown wins games.
Exactly. They have a lot of very easy AoE lockdown. So, looking good for them at the moment.
Yopaj sitting top of the net worth. He's up there by quite a margin over the next one on Omega, which is actually Sam H, who, even though he died twice, is top of it on his team.
Because he's completely left alone. Like, you might gank him once or twice, but he's farming the small camp, the hard camp, and the lane. So, and he farms extremely fast as a Broodmother. And this is pretty much what he needed to do. And it's a little bit late, maybe a couple of minutes, only because he died before. But he is pressuring the tower, and they did miss him with the smoke.
Dire's top tower has fallen. Radiant's bottom tower.
Yeah, they miss him with that smoke. Can kind of clean up bottom a little bit, but it looks like Omega is starting to group together a little bit to maybe make a move.
This is really good from Omega. They're finally playing around the Brood. They're moving in. They don't necessarily have any big spells to work with, but if they execute properly, maybe they can take a good fight. The problem is, like, I feel Neon has everything that they need from Omega. I don't know what we're waiting for. What's the big item? Is it the mech on the Brood? Is it Lifestealer with Sanj after Armlet? Is it something from the Void Spirit like the Yules? Like, none of these items really make a difference. You know, like, it's mostly levels and just playing properly, but nothing that they buy makes a huge difference, which does not sound great.
Yeah, just the Sanj isn't going to be a big thing. Just the Yules, I'm not sure is going to really make a difference.
The Blink on Shanks probably is the biggest bump to their strength. Like, it
really
buffs them
far
up.
from it.
Yeah. And he's 1k away. That's a problem when you're thinking that your Rubik position 4 is the one that should make the highest difference. Sam H caught.
Yeah, they've got the arrow to follow this up. Epicenter right on top. Sam H in trouble. Should die here after the Starstorm lands and one more click from Yopaj.
And then he obviously pings out the ward. Oh my god, they have the Tinker ward. When did they get that?
Radiant
I'd like to see Tinker picked up so we can actually call it Tinker
Call it the
Wars.
Tinker word, yeah. Can you... Okay, Yopaj misses this
short
one.
on the Burrow Strike.
Do you understand how much Tinker spammers hurt us when, like, 5 years after we're still calling it the Tinker ward? Do you understand what they did to us as Dota players? Like, they scarred me. They scarred me as much as techies.
They broke us mentally.
This should be easy rush as well.
Yeah, they've got the
Corrosive Haze.
Deso
Yeah,
in the
Corrosive
first
Haze,
phase.
Deso, Mirana Arrow, Blightstone on Mirana.
Empower.
Everything is just coming together for Neon. Meanwhile, Omega...
They're not out of the starting gate, it feels like.
Exactly. And I don't know where the flight is taking them to. They can get on it, but I don't know where it's going.
Yeah, their captain has no idea.
Just fly
They're
around.
Just flying around. We're circling right now.
They definitely do have chances
Yeah.
with Brood getting that mech, a lot of sustain. If they play around the bottom part of the map, the Infest on Void Spirit, easy initiation, but...
You're fighting into an Aegis now. That's...
Yep.
a big risk unless you know you can win the fight. And the Enchantress gets caught. Like, this is an arrow that lands. CML dead. Play hard. He's gotten a couple kills with those arrows. He's 3-0-3 right now.
Yeah. CML overall is always in position to break the smoke or break the movement from Neon. So I know I sound like I'm just protecting him because I'm a feeder as well, but he's actually trying to break their movement and eat the gank.
Right.
There's not many better heroes than Enchantress to do that.
But they're coming over. They're looking for Tino. CTM, he doesn't have his Blink Dagger delivered yet. But if he gets into the middle of this fight, that could be a problem. Burrow Strike lands on the Shanks. Moonlight Shadow. Bash first hit. Slither Crush to follow it up. They get the kill on the Shanks. Spiders hitting play hard, but that's not going to matter. RP in. Do they get a crit? They've got the Skewer into the Dissimilate. Mac with the natural step out and an Aether Remnant to protect himself. So Natsumi doesn't get the kill as he doesn't get a crit. Now he gets crit.
That's a nice thing, right? Like, you force them to use that big RP, big cooldown, but that's a position 5 Magnus.
Yeah, they can still fight without it.
They can still fight without it because they have Slardar plus Sand King, 2 heroes that are very capable of locking people down long enough, and that same Slardar has a blink now too. So
yeah, he didn't have it in that last engagement. It was getting delivered to him, so you don't need to have the RP ready to go. Blink, Slither, and Crush is more than enough engagement because you'll have follow-up from Yopaj, most likely. And the way Neon is playing right now, they're grouped up pretty constantly.
yeah, they are keeping up on Smart Omega, so that's positive, right?
Yeah.
Like, your Lifestealer is 1-2k behind the PA, Brood as well from the Sand King, 1-2k, so the net worth at least isn't that significant.
Gets grabbed by the Aether Remnant, and now Burrow Strike picked up for the Rubik. I don't want to overhype that, but that's a big spell to have if you are the Rubik. Like, that's a spell that could turn the game around because it gives you extra lockdown.
Yeah, it is. It definitely is. It makes Rubik's life much better. The value of Rubik is now higher, better than Sandstorm at least.
Rubik's stocks are going up.
Yeah, exactly.
Then he loses it after he dies, and Rubik's stocks go down.
Exactly. You need to invest when he dies. That's the right way of doing it. Anyways, another infest. Can they catch anyone
certainly
here?
makes sense with the fact that they've got the extra lockdown. Yeah, but play hard. Ooh, good Yules. Or actually, instead of the Yules coming out from Void Spirit, that was not a good Yules. I apologize.
Brute has actually rotated in as well. They still have Aegis, remember. And this pretty much tells you the full story, because they just got a pick off on a position 4 and they still can't fight. They're still running away. Even though they didn't use anything big. Just the infest, right?
Yeah.
But you still can't fight.
You get the pick off, that's something. Oh, Skewer with the RP? No, he didn't go off with it. He held the RP. Now they're going to jump forward. Burrow Strike from Shanks. It's onto the Phantom Assassin, taking a lot of damage. Gets lifted up into the sky, and they'll take the Aegis. That was some quick damage onto the Phantom Assassin. Burrow Strike from Yopaj will get the kill on a Mac. They look over now with the Moonlight Shadow, so Omega kind of losing vision of these heroes. Slither and Crush avoided with the Rage. Stifling Dagger, some right clicks onto Tino.
Burrow Strike, it's on, but...
Natsumi needs to be careful. Oh, there's the RP. That's what they were holding with Shanks. The Burrow Strike. 2-man Burrow coming in from Yopaj.
That was
brave.
RP. Yeah, that was so brave from the Rubik. As he Burrow Strikes, he steals the RP, but he just dies way too soon. And that's the problem of not having Gator Lance, not having Blink, not having any mobility item, being a little bit behind on that position 4. Because of that, if he has one of those items, I'm sure that he can play it a little bit differently. Maybe Burrow Strike in, steal it, blink out, and then go in.
Yules. This time a good Yules, because it's, still that Void Spirit's Yules, but it's not making it so they miss a stun.
Omega definitely are showing some teeth. They're teething a little bit. Their draft is
slowly coming back.
They're no longer toddlers. They can bite a little bit, and
they're learning to walk.
They're learning to walk. It's looking better. A Basher, I believe, will be completed on the Lifestealer very soon. He's a recipe away, pretty much.
Phantom Assassin going Basher as well.
Yeah, and PA is one item ahead.
Has the Sanjin Yasha, yeah.
That's the power of Magnus 5. He just keeps your cores one item ahead all the time because of the Empower. So much easier for him to farm, so much easier for him to play team fights.
Southern Crush coming through. Oh, gosh. That damage with the corrosive haze is not fun.
Even without the corrosive haze, PA pretty much
Radiant's middle tower
kills
is
Ench in
under
one
attack.
crit. The problem is you need to hit her because of the untouchable. But you get some
Dire's
bonus
top
attack
tower
speed,
is under attack.
Phantom Strike is there, and
Dire's
Ench is
top
just
tower has fallen.
free food for PA.
Yeah.
Radiant's
Samh
middle tower
into the
is under
trees. Can they find him? Oh, they got him! With the arrow! Epicenter, Slithering Crush. That was really impressive.
That's a lot of hate for a Brood, but Brood players usually do deserve it. He was very unfortunate there, though. That TP was so close to be finalized by...
You could see the process going through Yopaj's mind. He's like, if I don't see him and Sardar doesn't see him, by reasonings in my mind, he must be here. Burrow Strike, go. Anyway.
It took him like a second and a half, to connect all the dots.
Yeah.
He had that meme, like
The numbers going
the
by.
numbers
yeah.
going by, exactly. This one is a bit easier. Don't blame.
Yule's Burrow Strike, arrow. Ooh, okay. Yule's from the Void Spirit to avoid it.
That arrow was so close. That arrow
The
almost
point
connected.
was almost,
Infest mid
Oh,
lane.
does that creep get away? Yes, it does. Okay. They've got the Basher now. Maybe
Also,
not next time.
You can see the Sand King after the Yule is actually itemized into Sanj. So some status resistance here.
Kaya-san.
That's sure. Why not? He's not really being contested at the moment, so
Burrow Strike again. Slithering Crush with the Bash. Arrow this time connects.
this is actually a very interesting build from Sand King as well. You don't really see Veil that often any longer, but the hero dishes out a ton of damage in the Sandstorm and with Epicenter. He's still really strong. He also has Nether Shawl, so that's. I mean, I'm not a mad certified person like Lacoste,
Yeah.
but I think it's a lot. It's a lot of damage.
And the crit. Okay. Okay. That's the worst feeling as a support. I think it's actually one of the worst feelings.
Playing versus PA,
Just getting crit
yeah,
for your entire HP pool.
it's not fun.
Natsumi again, he doesn't have an Aegis to work with, but the RP, it comes in, they've got the stun onto the life stealer, the arrow follows it up, the right clicks in, is it going to be enough to skewer that was stolen, but now they've got 3 kills. 4 heroes dead, they'll call GG, and Neon will take game 1.
Yep. I really have to say that they let the Broodmother go through, and it worked out for them.
Yeah.
Because the rest of Omega's draft did not look as sick, as good as before. I want to see something a little bit more synergizing in a way, perhaps. Like some Slardar PA, that's old school. That's easy to execute. That's easy to make work. But what they had is, it just doesn't work together. Not with the Brood.
Yeah, and what Neon brought was options. I think sometimes it's a little bit too much on the Sand King. I like that they had options and right clickers as well. Like, you're not as reliant on the Sand King. Some lineups is just like, well, now what do I do as a Sand King? Well, your Burrow Strike was enough. It was enough because you have follow-up. You have the Slithering Crush. You have the toggled crits when you're a Phantom Assassin.
You had so many things going for you.
Yeah.
You really did.
Some of these lineups with Sand King don't have those options. That was, I think, the perfect lineup to really make the Sand King excel. So, Neon, they take the lead 1-0 over Smart Omega. And to break it down a little bit further, we've got the panel. So, back over to you guys.
They forgot the most important option, which is if you want your series to be quick, just have Lizard cast it. Guaranteed 25 minutes or less GG's. That's the Admir guarantee, because poor Neon. I need to figure out how good they are. And if Omega's drafting these games that can't even play Dota, how am I supposed to figure out how good Neon are?
Just figure it out.
Just figure it out? Is it that easy?
Yeah, the simplest thing to say is this one was on the draft. It's always something that we
Always
as an
on the
analyst, we can always blame it. But this time around, it was on the draft.
was
It
really
really
on the
was
draft.
on the draft. I don't know how you're supposed to play Dota. By play Dota, I mean, what's the purpose of the heroes that you pick? If the laning stage doesn't go well, if you lose your tier 1, tier 2 tower, how do you play? How do you come back into the game? Like, what is the plan? Like, life stealer gets the
upgrade. I approve.
Although Broodmother is still in the pool, although I'm pretty sure they won't pick it into a gyrocopter. At least I hope they don't. Sam H is a very capable
Smart
player.
Omega
He doesn't need to be brooding it up.
They beat someone with Brood against Gyro. Wasn't
It wasn't
Fnatic?
yesterday. It was
Dire
yesterday.
team bank.
Let me just check my book. It
Oh,
was
that's
Fnatic.
true. That was that was the
And
gyro
they
game for
played-
Raven.
Because the Broodmother does well against this, from what I've seen from that game.
In the lane, at least.
Yeah. Like, once you hit level 6 on Broodmother, what is Io and Gyro gonna do?
Yeah. We spoke about you need a hero can stand
10
there, right?
seconds
Gyro
remaining.
can maybe clear the spiders once, but then
Radiant
hide
team
when
pick.
freeze. Hopefully they come for me.
More stuns.
Let's go. Ogre, as
Omega smart, not the smartest hero, but,
But it's an
he gets
in-hero.
the job done.
It's an int hero with a lot of strength gain. Kind of like Lizard.
and
10 seconds remaining.
as of 3 days ago, Ogre had a 100% win rate
seconds
in upper
remaining.
division with 9 games played.
All.
All upper division, all regions. So the hero's being slept on.
And it's good with Tiny.
Dire
Go with
team
Tiny if
pick.
it's a one position Tiny, which I guess you're
Or
probably
even
pretty
two.
sure. Or even 2, yeah, a core Tiny. A right clicking Tiny with the shard.
Ember Spirit. Okay, so Tiny does very well against Ember in the lane. So I'm expecting it to be mid Tiny.
Okay.
Then off lane,
Offlane, anything
10
tank,
seconds
anything
remaining.
that builds.
I like Legion.
I like Legion quite a lot too, because Ogre
5
can be
seconds
annoying. That
remaining.
Ignite can like it's one of the most. Once you multicast that, it's like
Radiant
20
team
seconds.
It just doesn't go away.
It never goes away.
Dragon Knight again, they've done it the last time.
Yeah, they like
it's,
this.
it's a good setup for Mirana as well, so
A lot of stuns. Every single hero has a stun this time around. So they completely shifted what they had in game number 1.
a lot of magic
Radiant
damage in playing
team
it.
bank.
In the previous
Legion
series
Commander.
wasn't- they picked the Legion Commander. Weren't you kind of critical of the DK going for a hood in the previous
Oh,
series?
he wasn't going. He had the one in a quick buy, and that's not a good sign. Even though he did not end up going for the hood, it was a bad sign.
Is this
Just
game any
the-
different?
10
Would you still not
seconds
want him going
remaining.
hood?
I think this time around he can get one. There's a lot of
5
magical
seconds
damage. There's
remaining.
Like Ember Gyro.
So you know the hooder? You don't like hood much? Or?
I like it. I just didn't like it in that game because they had 2 heavy physical damage cores. They
Dire
had
team
plus
back.
something else.
Yeah.
Maybe even Ursa. I don't remember.
And this game they have a ton of magic damage, so just from a gyro alone, so I wouldn't mind him going into that.
Yeah, they go for Legion Command. Makes a lot of sense, as we mentioned before. Can dispel that Ogre, remove the arrow, and just builds into Hood. Very annoying later
10
on. You can
seconds
give, free
remaining.
BKBs to people.
Radiant
But
team
You're
bank.
expecting a mid Ember, right?
Mid-Ember for sure. So they need position 4. Something that could potentially have another save. I would
Dire
not
team
mind.
back.
Skyrot is a good ban.
Do you think they have some damage problems? I was
On
thinking
Neon?
about yeah.
Tusk, I think Tusk solves a bit of a problem.
Yeah, Tusk could be good. I really like Skyraf, so the ban is good.
Especially against the Dragon Knight. Like,
I really
you
feel like
are-
right now they lack quite a bit of damage.
especially early on.
10
These
seconds
heroes don't
remaining.
deal damage at the early stages.
Like
so
you really Maelstrom on Ember or something.
5
and then
seconds
maybe have
remaining.
some
it
damage.
needs time. Like this lineup needs a bit more time. Io needs Helm of the Dominator plus Aghanim Scepter to be able to join fights.
But it's gonna be a support IO probably, right? So it's even
Oh,
less
so, yeah,
damage.
yeah. Sorry. My bad.
Yeah, so even less damage from there. Gyro, Ember. Yeah,
Radiant
that's the only
team
worry I
pick.
have. The lineup looks pretty solid overall. Like they have good saves, good sustain, good scaling, but the early game might be a little tough because they have so many tanky heroes on the dire side.
Earth Spirit still in the pool.
Yeah. What is like a good play out here? What is
10
like a tangle
seconds
here?
remain. Dire team pick.
He played a lot of Marauder.
That's good. I like that. I like that quite a lot. Not just because of the double duel. It's about pairing
Legion lane
Legion
is sick.
Commander with the range hero in the lane, so you put much more pressure. And this Inkswell, you have 2 great heroes and 1 decent
10
one with
seconds
Gyro to
remaining.
just run in.
I feel like
I forgot about the Grim Shield.
5
I thought it was
seconds
banned for
remaining.
whatever reason.
I know you were saying that Tiny does good against Ember, but Omega have exclusively played it for Tino and as a one position.
what I also wouldn't mind here, since you said that, Razor middle, like it destroys all 3 cores pretty much. Gyro hates playing into Razor. Ember can't lane against Razor.
What
They
about
have
some good old
stuff to
Necro?
it. Necro, sure. Can work too. Same problem there. They have no one that can lane against Necro. I feel Omega has quite a good draft and a lot of options with the last pick here.
As long as they don't pick Dazzle, because they are known to last pick Dazzle.
Oh yeah,
mid.
Dazzle against Ember, that might be a trap. They fall into
Yeah.
I really hope they don't do
Last
it.
time around, they picked Dazzle into range hero,
Into
and they
DP.
put mid.
They won mid, but then what do you do?
You won mid.
Good
so,
job.
So you can tell your team it's not my fault.
Guys, I got my minus.
I went 2-0. What do you guys want? Like, you went 0-4.
Check the network graphs. Like, we could check it after the game.
Choose your
So
hero.
tiny mid.
It could be a mid-morph too.
It is a
There
mid-morph,
mid-morph,
actually.
yeah.
Okay, check
Mid-morph destroys Ember.
Yeah.
Like, there's just nothing you can do ever.
Can't kill it.
Yeah. The only scary part this game is the duel. If you get it, you can never get like Phantom before you get shift off unless you are tapped out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which I hope he won't be. That is a perfect morph game actually. Gyrocopter to morph into. Even Ember is really good to morph into. I quite like this Omega draft here.
Same. I think they won the draft in game number 2. I wanted to see a bit of, shift, what they're gonna do, how they're gonna draft, and pleasantly surprised. After, I don't think it could have been worse. What they had in game number 1, but this Morphling, he has a free game and he should not lose the lane. Also, rotation-wise, Grimstroke, he doesn't care about rotations from the Grimstroke. You get Chain, you're pretty good. You said about the silence. So Morphling can potentially bring this one. I'm pulling the Lizard here, but I'm gonna go with OB Neon because they just seem like a much stronger team. And their lineup is okay. I would call this 60-40 for Omega. It's just the execution that I'm afraid of.
I'll pull in a real Lizard so that we can see what he actually has to think about. Lizard, are you going to get more than 25 minutes of cast time?
Wait, who's the fake lizard? Why am I the real lizard?
He was
I
trying to
pulled
do
up
a
a
lizard
lizard.
impression by saying,
But,
but.
Okay. I'm not sure if you'll see a very quick one because the drafts are way more similar this time around. Similar power levels, similar power spikes, and Omega have got pretty much win conditions here. The Morphling versus Gyro, the Morphling on the mid lane. It's looking much better for them. And I love the Ogre with the Bloodlust plus the Tiny position 1. Looking solid.
True. Ogre has an insanely high win
So
rate.
you're going for Omega.
Yeah, I'm going for Omega.
I'll be a Neon for this one.
I
Beak
get to
up.
break the tie.
Yeah, you need to break the tie.
Do we have time to flip a coin?
Yeah, sure. I can.
Oh, no.
we
We
don't.
don't.
We
All right.
don't.
Heads.
Heads.
It's Neon.
Aw. All right. That's a tiebreaker if I've ever seen one. Let's see if game 2 will prove to be more competitive. Take it away,
Flip a
Beak
coin.
Up and Lizard.
Just because you guys couldn't see the coin doesn't mean it's not there.
Yeah, that definitely did make sense how you decided which team to go for.
I'm a
I mean,
magician.
I've seen a lot of bad stuff from you in the past when it comes to predicting, so nothing surprises me any longer. I'm fine with it.
We really need that full Season 1, Season 2 prediction rate, because I feel like my percentages...
I feel like you don't need it. The rest of us maybe. You? Are you sure? Do you really want it?
I kind of want to see it.
I'm pretty sure they have it, so they can give it to you.
For the big award at the end.
I'm not sure if you want it public or not, but sure. What was I talking about earlier? The Morphling into the Ember, pretty damn solid. Later on, the way you itemize versus the Gyro is also good. You can turn it into a better Gyro. And you truly will have this win condition coming from the mid lane. The only problem that I see from Omega is there's such a one-dimensional draft. Like you have this Ogre, Mirana, Tiny, Dragonite. There's no flair to it, let's put it that way. It's all very straightforward.
And you think there's flair from Neon?
There definitely is. Like you have some Grimstroke with Soulbind ulti, you have some Relocate, Ember can play in and out. On Omega, I'm a Dragonite, I am going to stun you, and then Ogre will also stun you, and then Mirana will hit you, and you dead. You know, it's
You know it's coming. You know what's gonna be there.
You can definitely read it. The only question is, can you do anything about it?
Yeah. That's the question, and I wonder. I want to say it depends on how well CTM does, because that shard, I could see it being very big in this game, or even just multiple levels in the press the attack. have it on that level 4, have that 13-second cooldown.
Oh, yeah,
Somebody
certainly.
gets stunned, give him a chance to get out of there, press the attack, run away.
Yeah, we've seen like maybe one game where Legion Commander didn't do well.
No. Legion is,
This
at
is
least
a-
right now, seemingly a very strong hero.
And this is a very strong lane. It's not seemingly, she is strong. And this lane with the Grimstroke is also pretty damn sick. You have Inkswell, a lot of catch potential. It's pretty solid, pretty solid. On the bottom lane, Shanks starting once again with the Blightstone. We see this very often on position 4 Miranas at the moment. Makes it a little bit easier to trade, especially versus an IO that has like very low armor.
Little avalanche action from Tino.
Radiant's courier has been killed.
There's in that courier.
This is, you see the ward behind the tier 1 on the bottom lane?
Yeah.
That's literally what's killing these couriers.
Well, Yopaj getting a little bit low. Yeah, I place that ward a lot. I like killing some couriers.
You can also put it on the cliff, a little bit to the left.
Yeah.
If you're playing something like an Enchantress or a Doom and you need to see the camp as well, that cliff is actually a pretty solid place to put it. Because you can react to the courier moving in a bit faster.
I wonder if they're going to get this courier as well. Because Shanks will see it, but I don't think he's going to.
They're moving it back. They're microing it. You could actually see the Mirana. Shanks moves a little bit to the left, instantly micro the courier back. On the mid lane, this is a big bait of a lane in which Morphling is always sitting low, so you're thinking there's going to be a kill, but he just morphs back up and you didn't do anything pretty much.
CTM taking some damage, overwhelming odds on both heroes.
Yeah, Ogre doesn't care. He's a big chunky boy.
7 armor.
So,
Literally unkillable.
man, he had 11 at one point. Like if I'm not sure if he had 11 or he had 11 with 1 ring of protection, but it was good times. He would literally dive a tier 2.
Oh, they're going and looking for Shanks. Didn't get that homing missile to hit though.
That's not happening as well, right? You're playing versus a Mirana with the Leaf. If you do manage to kill Shanks, that's definitely his own fault. He overextended, did something similar. This mid lane.
Mac.
I mean, they both have water runes. There is no way. Like, it's not. It's just a bait. Observers getting jebaited. That's the storyline here. In before someone dies, and then Vepas messages me on WhatsApp. What's up now, Lizard?
I always get debated by the Morphling, especially when he's shifting and you see that life just get super low and you're like, oh, is he dying? And then you click over to his lane, it's just him standing by himself.
Oh, mid lane. I love how we're just gonna watch this lane now. Vepas is like, nah, man. I'm not moving away anymore. This is it. This is what we're watching.
He's on 1 health. Very killable.
It's like I said, big debate. If any one of these dies early on, it's mostly due to outplay or Morphling maybe shifting Agi when he should have went strength.
Yopaj taking a lot of damage from those adaptive strikes. Not enjoying it. Avalanche, toss. Through on to CTM, press the attack to back off. CML not there to help out, but Yopaj getting low. Slights once again. As this Flame Guard has a sip in the bottle.
Meanwhile, he just lost like 3 creeps under the tower on the side of Morphling. Sadly, because he was trying to get that kill.
Now he just gets that bounty rune.
Top lane so far, as expected, CTM, he's not dominating, he's not pressuring the Tiny and Ogre. It's really hard to do that, but he's still farming, and he has a very decent CS. This is something that we've all come to expect from Legion commanders. Bottom lane is very similar as well, because Mirana, it's difficult to kill her, 3 leap charges. Dragon Knight just naturally way too tanky to take down. So, mid lane is the most flashy lane here. It's the most interesting one.
Just doesn't look like they're going to die anyway. Like you said, unless there's a misplay. 35-0 already for this Tiny. Wow.
He's taking a little bit of damage now, moment of courage procs. And with Mirana rotating mid, maybe the arrow will make the difference. They are setting up the stun into... Oh,
They missed the arrow. That can't happen because now CML, he might be the one who dies. He'll chase with the Inkswell. Not sure he's got the damage, but the silence Stops the stun on the Yopaj. Waveform, first blood there for Play Hard. Yopaj, oh, not getting saved.
It was all the next level play. We're just not good enough to understand. Bait the Emperor onto your own side to be able to actually kill him. Yeah, that arrow, zoning arrow from Shanks, I'm not sure. Like when you set up with the stun, you should be able to land it. Mistakes do happen. Nice try from Jean-Well as well to rotate in to save the Ember, but it's very difficult when you're full HP on Io. It's very difficult for Wisp to heal you up if he's already full, if he doesn't have Fairy Fires.
I wonder if Playhard just caught that. The bounty getting taken, and then knowing that the ward was probably placed.
I should probably know. We're 7 minutes in, and there's 2 kills on the board. Give me the Rambulan. Filipinos, my friends, what's happening here? I was promised brawling action. I was promised 20-minute games. Decide who's the better one. No strategizing, nothing like that. Just fight it off, manly. But this is way more calm, strategized.
They're keeping it slow for you, so you can get
so I can
a
understand
longer
it.
game.
Yeah.
So you're not done in 22 minutes.
Yeah, I've casted with you this season. Not too many games, and all of them were like 15-20 minute mark. Done. It's a nice stack of hard camp here, and the Ancients. You need to give a little bit more to the Ember.
Ooh, they find the duel. Phantom's Embrace, tether over. They've got the win. Shanks getting caught. Inkswell lands onto the Ogre. They've got Tiny on the high ground. Avalanche, I'm not sure that saves them. Stroke of Fate for the slow. They've got 3 heroes here to output that damage, and eventually CML.
He's a big boy.
Should die. Yeah, overwhelming odds.
He's a big boy, but there's way too much damage. And I love how Ember just Yopa, she's like, yeah, I'll sleight of fist, and that's my contribution back to the stacks. And it's important for him to get a lot of farm early on because he's the vessel builder. You can see that he already has it queued up, and this vessel is huge for Neo. Not only versus Morphling, by the way. All 3 cores are pretty much tanky, right? Like the 1k plus early on. The Dragon Knight, the Tiny, the Morphling. None of these heroes like Vessel applied.
They really want to go in on Natsumi, but they've got the tether, and now... Oh, arrow doesn't land. Rocket Barrage, I thought maybe that would be enough damage.
Ember is here, though.
Sleight of Fist, Searing Chains, and DK getting low. Eventually, Sam H does die. Max made the rotation, but not getting anything out of it.
He tried to TP back in, maybe get a counter kill, but it didn't work mostly because there was a haste as well on Ember, so it's very easy for him to get in and out. He might get caught here, though.
Searing Chains. Oh, Slight and the Remnant. He's fine.
He didn't snatch the bounty rune. That was the plan. Yopaj just tried to be a little bit cheeky there to take the bounty rune away from them.
Yeah, how risky can he be?
Yeah. So looking at net worth right now, Omega is doing fairly well. Morphling is on top, followed closely by Tiny. So it's not a huge difference. They're still as a team 1k behind. But the lanes have went decently well for them. Much, much better than in game 1.
Yeah. I guess the only thing now that they have to worry about are these stacks. They've got vision, and Mac's going to come over here, take the bounty. And I guess the question becomes, is there a way for them to shut down the stack taking?
I don't think so. Not at the moment, at least if you're Dire. Maybe you can bring your whole team plus Tiny, and Tiny snatches them away, but it's not easy, and it will take them a lot of time. And if it takes you a lot of time to take those stacks, you're worrying against Relocate, against Gyro rotating in.
Tap to strike. CML coming over, they don't catch. Play hard.
Man, Mac actually at least wants the hard camp. It's not a big stack though, this is 1-1. He might be able to take it though.
Frustrating if you are Neon though.
Yeah, they're pinging it out, but they're not reacting to it. There's the Legion now, CTM. Scam, he's rotating. Yopaj as well.
They might be able to kill him still. Searing Chains, they're looking to get this. Press the attack. Good adaptive strike. The silence comes in a little bit too late, but the Ink Swell lands on 2. Now they've got the duel. They'll get both kills. That was really well done.
That was really well done, and also very expected from me. Like, if you are trying to steal these stacks and you're taking so much time, they will eventually respond to it. So you took pretty much one big creep. You farmed one camp, literally, and you died for that. So
yeah.
It's definitely not worth it.
I guess the only thing I'm worried about, Avalanche Toss here, onto Natsumi, leap in, Starstorm, still gonna die. Well, couldn't do enough, but Shanks is dead in return. They also get the 2-1 tower in the bottom lane.
Can they do anything else, Tino?
They're looking for Tino. They want this Ink Swell to land, but just off the mark, and Max come over. There is a lot of heroes here for Smart Omega. Searing Chains, now back the other way. Stroke of Fate lands on 2.
They're getting out because Tiny is reconnecting, and he has a blink.
Avalanche, and the toss, Soulbind, and the damage just too much for Yopaj to handle. 4 heroes here. They've got the duel on a multiple heroes. They have the damage with the rocket barrage. Yes, they do.
Did he get the double? No,
I think
he got one double.
Got one.
Yeah, he got one, but they killed both of them.
Yeah, he's only got 30 damage. That would have pushed him to 40.
I think that's worth for Neon, right? They did lose the Ember, but Gyro survives, and Legion Commander also gets the dual damage, which is so valuable for you. It's solid.
I'm still a little surprised that Morph's taking this stack and they haven't gone to deward it yet.
The Radiant Jungle one?
Yeah, there was that ward there before, and they didn't go. And I'm expecting another ward to come out because it wasn't dewarded. If you don't take away the vision, why not place it there again, right?
Oh, well, Gyro will rotate in. He will farm it all up.
So now it's not worth putting that vision.
It doesn't really matter anymore. It's still nice ward to have if you're farming this and you're worried.
You think they just gave up on protecting that? And
we'll see. Tiny is actually rotating in, so he might actually try to contest this.
And this is without the vision because it timed out.
Yep. This kind of a move you kind of need to do in a smoke, and they're not.
They're just looking to come over.
It's so difficult to run uphill like this. Sam H will do it though. He's a big dragon.
Now they'll try. It's a little late to steal the stacks. I mean, all 5 are here. They'll take some of it.
It's solid. It's 3 big creeps.
Yeah.
It's actually, they just bullied them out. They literally just bullied them out. They didn't even smoke. Nothing like that. They just gather together and move uphill.
And that comes from the information they had prior, right? Like, because that word was there for so long, they knew the stacking was happening. Yes. They know that the Gyro from that fight has moved over to that camp, even though they no longer have the vision, right?
Everything you said is very correct, but it was still an extremely risky move.
Yeah, well, if you, like you said, if you're not smoking, it's
very risky.
You're just showing your moves. I'm surprised they got away with as much as they did.
Exactly, because Neon was a little bit more on the greedier side. They were farming with Ember, with Legion Commander that was just running around, so they couldn't set up the perimeter and protect the triangle, which kind of goes hand in hand with what you asked earlier. Why not protect the triangle with wards?
Yopaj in some trouble. Stroke of Fate lands on 2, slowing down Mac and CML. Because that Hobbs having the full duration gave that information. I'm just wondering why they never, I feel like they knew they had the vision there, but I don't know.
This is all nerd stuff we're talking about. Yeah. Let's talk about some really good items that are coming online. Yopaj, he actually has the vessel. Because of that,
on Natsumi too.
Exactly, and because of these 2 items, they instantly smoke up. You also have relocate, remember, so a big team fight should come. For Neon, they just need to execute properly. This is their huge power spike.
Yeah, this is a really big one, especially with this double damage. They could really make some big work happen if they catch Tino, especially. Oh, Searing Chains don't win, but they got a Soulbind on a 2. Now they're going to go for this. Homing Missile coming out. Avalanche toss. Tino dead. Waveform in. Mac, that's a risky position, a risky proposition, and they're going to get the kill here on the Mac. Take out all 3 cores. And they lose nothing. Yeah, they want more.
That was not really a risky position for Neon, and Ogre with his Ignite and Ignition definitely did not save his team, and mission is accomplished for Neon. They take that vessel and they take a first good fight. It's kind of telegraphed as well, right? You should understand that this is coming, but it's just Omega They were not prepared.
Going from the after party to the hotel lobby. Nothing that they could do with that one. They'll have to spend their time relaxing now as they were respawning.
They just need to use their smokes, perhaps the Mirana ulti offensively. The thing is, what they're waiting for is the C-Blade on Morph. It gives them a big power spike. And Omega, they're not necessarily in a rush, but you can't be just taking this battery without doing anything at all. You need to respond at some point. They're trying to perhaps set up on the top lane, Tiny and Mirana.
They're not even putting themselves in a position to get caught in that top lane.
Yeah, you can see the circle made by the Grimstroke. Play hard is like, let's go play there. They must be in that area. They're not around bottom. We have full control.
Yeah, they've got an obs on the cliff. I haven't seen anybody come in from the dire triangle just yet. And they'll catch vision as CML here.
They see CML now. He's trying to D-ward, as a good support should do.
Side of Fist, Searing Chains, looking for the Inkswell. Venom's Embrace, no stun for you, no ignition either. And there will be a kill onto the Ogre. And they're holding that high ground ward. And you know he's coming over. You got to assume that he's got the sentry down.
It's an important one. It's an important ward to protect if you're Neon, because it allows you to just stay in their triangle and not move away from it at all. You just stay there, and whoever tries to go in and D-ward, just pick him off first. But my question again is, now that you have E-Blade, are you finally ready to smoke up on Omega? And they do it. They do it instantly. Because you have to make a move. You just can't let them control the pace of the game so well and for such a long time. You again have 4 kills against 14. It's unacceptable.
Problem is, if this goes wrong too, it really turns poor and sour. Inkswell, press the attack. They've got the duel. Now they're going up top. They're trying to get the kill out on Natsumi in the top lane. E-Blade is the damage there with the IO. Oh, Homie Missile coming in and he relocates out.
I'm actually sad for Omega, a biased caster, because they made the proper move. It just did not work out, sadly, for them. Very well played by IO and the Gyro. They relocate out and they relocate back in.
Now they're back in. They've got help. Searing Chains, that lands onto the Mirana. The Spirits will show them where the Mirana is. CML, Shanks, they both fall. 3 heroes down on the side of Smart Omega.
Everything is just coming together for Neon, and the Admir's or Lizard's Curse, as the panel called it, is continuing.
Got about 7 more minutes.
It's about 7 more minutes and pack it up if it continues this way, because Omega, super late game, with the morphing, they still have, let's say, a very good chance of taking this game. But will they get to that late game? They're already 7k behind, 19 minutes in. It's not looking great. The whole movement when they went top and left Dragonite on mid lane is very well planned. The Dragonite here is literally just baiting. He's allowing himself to be picked off so that they can pick off Gyro and IO on the top lane. But yeah, it just doesn't work. They don't use one of those stuns on the relocate.
Yeah, the Morphlink's Homie Missile just never got off in time.
All they had to do is just save 1 stun for the reload. That's such a basic thing to do. They probably thought that they had enough damage. They didn't.
Soulbind, catching this Morph. And they've got the kill on the Shanks. They'll look for the Morphling. They've got the duel. They'll take out Mac. Back-to-back deaths.
Triple kill Yopaj. And this is just falling apart. This is pretty much just falling apart. This should be easy Aegis as well. Natsumi is so far ahead at this point.
Yeah. Look at where his net worth is compared to everybody.
It's a normal standard Gyro net worth, right, with the IO. It's just the fact that no one is keeping up on the side of Omega.
Homie Missile going out into Tino.
Let's go to his blink there. Should be... No, actually doesn't even use it.
Dangerous.
I'm just thinking, is there a big item now that can come from Omega that saves the day? There is nothing really huge. It's literally just about the way they execute fights. They need to maybe take a loss here. Go in, pick off 2, then trade at a loss, right? 4 heroes for 2, 4 for 3. Do something similar. Hopefully, Morphling survives, but Morphling is being caught again.
God, he's being caught one more time. Press the attack. Moonlight Shadow. Is that it? Oh my god, Yopaj got the kill even. And, well, now Tino, he's dusted. He's too old. He's dead.
That's 11k, 21 minutes in. The curse continues. Vessel was such an amazing build from Ember this game. This Kai and Sanj afterwards, it's nice, but it's not a game changer. The Vessel is really what made them tick. The moment they got it, and it's such a cheap item that activates the team, the moment they got it, they took full control of the map. Right. Instant smoke afterwards. Meanwhile, I feel like Omega did not use their timings properly. The Blink Dagger on the Tiny, they didn't utilize it with any smokes. They just kind of tried to bully themselves into the map.
Spear Vessel onto the Ogre. They're going to kill off this Ogre, stay on the high ground. Glyph isn't out while the creeps come up. Sleight of Fist Searing Chains once again, looking for the homing missile. Do they dive him?
You have ages, right? So you don't have to run away. You can just stay here. Also, is he complete?
Avalanche. Toss under the tier 3, but they've got the BKB.
Oh, he
and they'll take
BKB.
ages.
He popped his BKB though.
They've got the Duel to Soulbind in a little bit late. Phantom's Embrace, it's on to Tino. The question is, can Natsumi survive this now that he no longer has the BKB? The damage out onto Tino is more than enough. They get the kill there onto Sam H. They'll take out 2. CML follows into the grave. They'll buy back on this Dragonite. This tier 3 set to fall. Demolition starts now. And I don't know how you fight into this.
Maybe they'll continue fighting after this site has fallen. Oh, Dragonite.
Avoiding the arrow. Sam H. He's dead once more. He just bought back. He's dead for 71. They don't exactly take buildings so fast.
They do.
Now they do.
They do fast enough, right? That's
and
it.
GG.
Yep. When it's time to call it, like Lacoste says, it's time to call it.
It's time to call it.
Or should I use Black's GG?
You can do either. You can do both.
When it's time to GG, it's time to GG.
This one under the average.
Welcome to Lizards.
Can we just cast together
games.
all the time? You know,
I'm making these days very, very quick.
Get ourselves
guys.
some quick games of Dota. That was really well done by Neon. They looked really good the entire time. Never really fell off. Their movements were great.
I just expect more from Omega. I'm actually a little bit disappointed.
Well, is that because they came out of the gate hot?
I'm not sure. I feel like they might have given too much respect to Neon. Didn't really play their game. Didn't use any smokes early on.
True.
Just gave full control to Neon, really.
Yeah, and Neon take full control to a 2-0 victory over Smart Omega. To break it down a little bit further for you, we got the panel. Back over to you guys.
And now I finally maybe get an answer on how good Neon is, because this was a draft that we all pretty much considered Omega to have won. Morphling. Pretty much a guaranteed answer to most gyrocopters. And overall, they had scaling, they had stuns, they had pretty much all the ingredients that you'd need, except the capability to beat a top 6 major finisher, which, to be expected. You know, OB Neon have had the experience, Smart Omega, a lower division promotion. So, still, maybe would have been a little bit more competitive ideally, rather than 2 sub-25-minute GGs, Black, but what can you do?
Yeah, outplayed again this time around. Can't blame it on the draft, unfortunately, so Omega will have to do some self-reflecting. Some questionable item builds. I don't particularly like the E-Blade on the Morphling. Your entire job this game is buy Manta Skadi, become the gyro, hit people. Like, you don't need this magic burst. There's no point in doing so. But just overall, they look very disconnected, and Neon did finally playing up to the standard.
Yeah, Neon did really well, especially Yopaj on the mid lane was keeping even
Somehow.
in terms of CS. I'm not sure how that's possible against the Morphling, but he managed to do so. Being very close to dying multiple times, just one hit away from it. I guess he understands the matchup, understands how much damage, how aggressive he can play, and Coming up from the off lane, this LC, he was just pretty much the unkillable force. I liked his itemization quite a lot. Going for like casual bracer, magic wand, soul ring, everything gives you tankiness, even the raindrop plus then getting a hood. As we mentioned before, looked like a good Legion Commander game. Itemization, get that hood online, upgrade it to pipe later on. They're just not going to be able to deal any damage. You have a way of dispelling things, giving attack speed to Gyro, so his flat cannon goes out even quicker. So many dual victories. Also, not sure if like it's him playing well or Morphling not being able to use the shift button. Use me as a shift button, you know.
I mean, the thing is, maybe the keyboard is buggy, you know? Like only half of the
Works
time
every
it works.
He
second
doesn't have a
time.
HyperX keyboard. That's the problem. Oh,
You hate to see it.
not like this.
Highlights are over again. Usually we talk like 2-3 minutes, so another minute, it's gone. All right, what do we
Blink and
say?
you'll miss it.
Well played, Neon.
Well
They
played, Neon.
managed to get only 4 kills on board with
How
their
much was
lineup.
game
You
one?
have,
How many kills? Like
I-
also 4 or something?
I think a bit more, maybe 5, 6 to 9, possibly.
So combined, they have 2-digit score. Which is not bad. Could always be worse.
Also, this build on Yopaj, going for earlier Spirit Vessel, I really like that.
What about the Kaya thing?
Kaya saying, you know, maybe something else, but I guess he had a good feeling that he can go for a more different kind of a build. You know,
Enjoy
reverse-
yourself a
Yeah,
little.
exactly.
Yeah.
This is not something you see, so we're just styling on them. Spirit Vessel kind of cripples both Morphling, also this tanky Dragon, and even Tiny. Tiny has a ton of HP.
And he did well in the mid lane, which is a tough matchup for an Ember Spirit, so we will give the MVP to Yopaj on that Ember Spirit.
Again,
Again,
2 times. Wow.
the back-to-back. Why? Who else would you have
Kill
given it to?
participation 0.96.
Yeah,
Not
exactly.
even
I think
1.
he missed 1 or 2 maybe. How dare he?
How dare you?
During Major, he had his puck performance. He was involved in every
100%.
single kill. It was like 40 kills or whatever, and he was in every single one of those kills. Pretty impressive. Like, he is just an insanely skilled player.
Yeah, and I overall like how they are giving Natsumi traditional carries. They were trying to mold him into something that he wasn't, but this series seems like a return to form for everyone involved, including our interviewee for this series. We're going to get a chance to talk to Skem, aka CTM, Can't Touch Me. Congratulations on the 2-0 victory versus Smart Omega.
Yeah, thank you.
I have a question about your off-lane pool. We've been kind of curious. You like picking some non-traditional off-laners. How'd you feel about your Mirana off-lane? Is she going to be viable, or was that just like a flex pick?
I think it's a flex pick. Damian.
Okay. What was, if it had worked out, what was your build going to be in that game? I know this is a previous series, but I was curious about it.
The normal build, the Threads, Maelstrom, BKB.
So I was curious,
And
would you get
I
the shard or
buy
no?
Shard. Yeah, I will buy
Okay.
Shard.
So you guys lost the TNC, lost the Execration. Now you seem in this series to be pretty easy. Like everything was easy for you, 20-minute games. Like what changed? Is it just the opponent, or did you guys found what the flaws were?
I think we are so chill last series. Then we lose 2 straight in a row. Then we just become better in scrim and in the tournament.
When you say chill,
and we play so serious.
do you mean like less
Like-
preparation? Do you still scream quite a lot, or is it just you guys wanted to take some time off?
We scrim, but we are not serious in scrim. Then after we lose 2 series, we are so serious.
Too much success.
Suffering from success.
But I wanted to ask, I know a lot of Malaysian teams in particular do that, but do you scrim against Chinese teams as well, like with a VPN, or is that not something you can do?
Yeah, we last major we only scrim Chinese. We never scrim C teams.
Okay.
But this second DPC season, we half.
Okay.
The last question, we've been asking all of the Southeast Asian players this. I'm not going to give you a hint, but who do you think is the strongest carry in 7.29C right now?